What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are back here at Colorado National Speedway for the last weekend in June to try and continue to get our car figured out. Unfortunately, we did miss the race on June 8th, so we didn't learn anything from that weekend, but we are back here in practice trying to get everything shook down and figure out what we need to make the car a little bit quicker for us. Unfortunately, pretty early on in our practice, we started feeling something a bit weird with our brakes as we started locking up our rears quite a bit throughout our sessions. Both practices had the same issue, and in between that first and second practice, we tried to back off our brake shoes quite a bit to help alleviate some of that locking up brake pressure, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get it through practice, so we were quite a bit loose and couldn't really squeeze out any good times, besting our practice with a 19.05 in our final practice. So unfortunately not really any good times today, but we're going to try and work on the car a little bit and see if we can squeak out something for qualifying. So far this year, qualifying has been the only thing that we've been able to squeeze out an okay lap in, qualifying 16th overall with the best lap of a 19.084. Unfortunately, that did qualify us one spot shy of the fast dash, so we did have to start as the first car in the slow dash, which after the invert actually started us third for the dash, so we have 10 laps to make up a couple spots to try and take this win. Obviously, third is a pretty good starting position, so we're going to try and hold on to it as best as we can, but we also know that it's a 10-lap dash that'll help set the lineup for the future, so we're not going to try anything crazy. After entering turn 3 on lap 2 and locking up our rears, sending us loose again, we realized our brake issues were not complete, so we were able to back off the shoes quite a bit. Unfortunately, it seems like they haven't been backed off enough, or there's a mismatch between our left and right gaps where it's causing one side to grab more than the other. So we're going to have to take a look at it after the dash, but right now we're going to restart 11th and see if we can make up any ground to try and finish a little bit better. Unfortunately for us, our dash comes to an end here on lap 7 after finding a good rhythm, making up some ground on a couple of cars, and trying to go for a pass on the outside of the 56 here, but just ultimately running myself out of room. As we can see, we're all going for that same spot. We actually don't make contact. I just continue driving up into the wall. There wasn't room for me, but at the same time, I just drove myself into the wall and made the mistake of trying to force an issue that didn't need to be forced. So we ended up bringing the car into the infield and waiting out the rest of the race, which unfortunately meant that we did not finish the race, and this will actually end up putting us starting just about dead last in our feature. So we have a lot of ground to make up in 25 laps, but we're going to try and get our car looked over and fixed up if we need to, and then we'll get our lineup set for the feature. So we decided to hang back a little bit on the start of our feature, and I'm really glad we did, because right off the bat there's a wreck on lap 2 that took out a couple cars right in front of us. As you can see here, we're entering turn 3 and already the cars are spinning out. The 8 here locks up their brakes, but unfortunately has nowhere to go as they smack their left front into the front of the 19. Luckily for us, we were able to get slowed down significantly enough to miss everything and not hit anyone or have anyone hit us, so we were able to continue on with our race, line back up, and restart. After a handful of laps from the restart, a couple cars get tangled up and go around coming out of turn 2, but luckily there was not a lot of cleanup, so we were able to line back up fairly quickly and get back to racing. Not even a handful of laps later, the caution comes back out after 5 cars get tangled up with each other and get collected in turn 4. So since there's going to be a significant amount of cleanup to get them all off the track, they ended up having to stop here on the front stretch and displayed the red flag. Took a little bit to get it all cleaned up, but afterwards we were picked up a couple spots and restarted 17th, and hopefully we can finish out the rest of this race. After a hectic first couple laps and a good battle between us and the 14, we were able to bring home the car in 13th place, completing all 25 laps. The 14 there seemed to be kind of all over the place, and we thought there were a couple opportunities where we can really make the pass on him, but we figured that with how unpredictable his car was, we would let out and kind of let the track play out a little bit and see if he would just end up making a mistake on his own. Luckily, we were able to take the bottom of 3 wide going into 1 with a lap car, and that forced the 14 to go the long way around, so we were able to pick up the position that way, and obviously our car is clean aside from the damage we sustained during the dash, but we've still got a lot of work to do on the car to make it faster. Obviously, finishing 13th after all those cars got wrecked out is not ideal, so we're going to work on the car, figure out where we can find the speed. But for now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.